Hello and welcome to Express News. Over the next 30 minutes, we will bring you 100 news stories of the day. I'm Bharati. Let's get started. Prime Minister Narendra Modi chairs meeting of heads of all parties to discuss various issues. Meeting held to discuss several issues including the idea of one nation, one election, celebration of 75 years of India's independence in 2022 and 150th birth anniversary commemoration of Mahatma Gandhi that falls this year. Prime Minister Narendra Modi invites heads of all parties who have representation in either the Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha for a meeting. Bharati Janata Party's Om Birla elected as the Speaker of the 17th Lok Sabha unopposed. Prime Minister Narendra Modi proposed the name of BJP MP from Kota Bundi seat in Rajasthan and was seconded by Raksha Mantri Rajnath Singh and Home Minister Amit Shah. The newly elected Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla was greeted by all leaders in the lower house led by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Prime Minister Narendra Modi said that Birla represents Kota, which is known as Mini India and a land associated with education and learning. Prime Minister Modi also said that Jan Seva has been the focal point of the politics of Om Birla. Supreme Court agrees to consider on 24th June a plea by two advocates for a direction to the centre to send a team of medical experts to check outbreak of acute encephalitis syndrome in Bihar's Muzaffarpur. Death toll due to acute encephalitis syndrome in Muzaffarpur district of Bihar reaches 112. Subsequent to the high-level review of AES in Muzaffarpur, Union Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan chaired a review meeting to take stock of the ongoing public health measures for management of the cases. Dr. Harshvardhan directs 5 teams of senior pediatricians and paramedics to be sent to Muzaffarpur immediately to further strengthen the state's efforts and measures in the affected districts. 10 pediatricians and 5 paramedics from RML Hospital, Safdarjung and Lady Hardinge Medical College will be part of the 5 teams. Bihar and Odisha government have ordered laboratory tests of lychee being sold in the markets in the state. BJP Working President JP Nadda holds a meeting with office bearers of the party at party headquarters. Supreme Court seeks response from the Election Commission by the 24th of June on a plea of Gujarat Congress challenging the poll panel's decision to hold separate by-polls to 2 Rajya Sabha seats in the state. Special PMLA court orders Zakir Naik to physically appear before it on 31st July. If he does not appear, court will issue a non-bailable warrant against him. An application has been filed by ED seeking non-bailable warrant against him. Madras High Court slams the state government's handling of the water crisis and seeks a comprehensive district-wise report on the situation. Chief Minister K. Palaniswamy downplays the situation, says the situation is not as bad as is being made out to be, and urges the media not to create an illusion of scarcity. In Chennai, water tokens are being issued to residents facing acute water crisis in Royapeta area to avail water supply through water tankers. In the run-up to International Day of Yoga, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has shared another asan to create awareness about importance of a healthy lifestyle. ITBP personnel of Animal Training School Lohitpur in Arunachal Pradesh practiced and prepared for International Yoga Day celebrations in local Digaru River. In Jammu and Kashmir, Border Security Force Jawans performed yoga in Kupwara sector ahead of Yoga Day 2019. In Nepal, many programs are being organized to celebrate International Day of Yoga on 21st June. Indian Embassy in Kathmandu also organized a program in the run-up to Yoga Day. At least 8 persons died and 12 others were injured in Sambhal in Uttar Pradesh. The incident took place when the vehicle collided with another vehicle in Laharaban village last night. Sensex finished higher at close. The Sensex was up 66.4 points at 39,112.74. Nifty ended flat at 11,691.5. About 703 shares have advanced, 1,847 shares declined and 119 shares are unchanged. The rupee traded flat at 69.69 per dollar against previous close 69.7. Gold prices rose marginally by 20 rupees to 33,740 rupees per 10 grams at the bullion market in the national capital, while silver surged by 130 rupees to 38,350 per kilogram. The government has decided to crack down on errant exporters who it suspects have been showing inflated exports and low income, as well as those who have been claiming fraudulent integrated GST refunds. Government may cut the goods and services tax on electric vehicles to provide a stimulus to the sector. The GST Council is set to take up the proposal at its June 20 meeting. Reserve Bank imposes fines worth 1 crore rupees on the country's largest private sector lender, HDFC, for not reporting frauds and non-compliance with other directions. National Company Law Tribunal is all set to hear tomorrow a petition of the SBI against Jet Airways under Section 7 of the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code. Boeing has received a boost for its grounded 737 MAX jet after British Airways owner IAG signed a letter of intent to order 200 of the planes. Boeing is currently trying to develop a software fix for 737 MAX planes after 2 deadly crashes. China's film industry witnessed a fast development over the past year, with box office collections exceeding $8.7 billion for the first time last year. The number of cinemas increased to over 10,400 across the country, and the number of screens reached 60,000 in China. The Chinese Academy of Social Sciences has claimed that the country's online retail sales maintained robust growth momentum in the first half of this year. The total amount of online retail sales in the first 5 months of this year stood at over 3.86 trillion yuan, 17.8% up on annual basis. Pacific Gas and Electric Corporation has agreed to pay $1 billion to local California authorities for wildfire damage blamed on the firm. The settlements will be paid out to 14 different bodies as part of the utility company's bankruptcy reorganization. German industrial equipment maker Siemens says it is cutting 2,700 jobs globally as its power and gas company seeks to make cost savings. According to the company, the cuts include 1,400 jobs in Germany alone, which would take place over the course of several years. The General Court of the European Union rules Adidas's 3-stripe branding invalid as a trademark, saying it lacks a distinctive character. The court has upheld a decision of the European Intellectual Property Office in 2016 to annul a previous decision to accept the mark. Microsoft has warned users their computers may be hit by a black screen bug. The bug hits the first time you restart your computer after installing the update and leaves you with a completely black screen and no small sense of worry. Starting in the UK and France later this month, people with Android phones will be able to opt into the new texting service with Google, which Google calls Chat. It is an easier way to text on Android. It provides read receipts and ellipsis symbols to indicate when people are typing. Forbes' Ivan Spence has acclaimed that industry insider Ming-Chi Kuo has leaked Apple's grand plans for its 2020 iPhones. He stated that 2020 will be the year for first major design change to the iPhone since the iPhone X. Also, Apple will resize its premium models by shrinking the 5.8-inch model to 5.4 inches. WhatsApp is working on a new image sharing feature which will show name of the recipient below the caption while sharing images, so that no images are sent to any wrong contact. This feature is available on WhatsApp Beta for Android. A study of adults aged 50 and over found that decline in memory and thinking was faster after a heart attack or angina, even if they are able to maintain good health. Research suggests that the benefits of employment on mental health might be gained from just 1 day's work a week. They have found a positive impact on mental health on moving from unemployment to a paid job. Communication app Truecaller launches a new feature called Truecaller Voice for its 140 million daily active users globally to facilitate high-quality internet calls. Google launches new Chrome extension that allows you to flag suspicious sites for inclusion in the company's Safe Browsing Index, which is used by Chrome and a number of third-party browsers. Research suggests that drinking decaf coffee is not harmful and may actually provide some health benefits. It contains very little caffeine and tends to be similar in taste and appearance to regular coffee. Green and black teas are lent to contain more caffeine than decaf coffee. A study reveals that sleep can cause weight gain, high blood pressure, heart disease and mood swings. Not getting adequate sleep can even increase your risk of diseases such as cancer and can lead to premature death. A study has found that poor oral health is associated with a 75% increased risk of hepatocellular carcinoma, the most common form of liver cancer. Participants with poor oral health were more likely to be younger, female, living in deprived socioeconomic areas, and consumed less than 2 portions of fruit and vegetables per day. Dexcom, a company that specializes in glucose monitoring devices, has hinted that it is closely monitoring and working with Apple to bring a glucose monitoring device that works with its smartwatch, which will help the users track down their glucose levels. New research suggests that eating 2 or more weekly servings of yogurt may help to lower the risk of developing the abnormal growths which precede the development of bowel cancer, at least in men. US President Donald Trump launches his 2020 re-election campaign, holds a rally in front of about 20,000 supporters packed into a Florida arena. At a packed rally, Trump makes it clear that he would run for re-election as an outsider, just as he did in 2016. The US Democratic presidential candidate Bernie Sanders responds to Trump's campaign launch, posts an online statement to detail what he says President Donald Trump forgot to tell you in his re-election kickoff rally. Sanders calls him racist, sexist and xenophobe. Major development comes amid the ongoing trade war between US and China as US President Donald Trump says he will hold an extended meeting with his Chinese counterpart Xi Jinping on the sidelines of the G20 summit. US President Trump also holds a telephonic conversation with Chinese President Xi Jinping. Trump says he looks forward to meeting Xi again during the upcoming G20 summit in the Japanese city of Osaka later this month. In Britain, the race to replace Theresa May as PM has narrowed down to 5 candidates after a crunch vote in the second round. Boris Johnson has once again topped the ballot with 126 votes, 12 more than in the first round. The Hong Kong Legislative Council resumes. Pan-democratic lawmakers observe a minute of silence before starting an official meeting at the council for a protester who fell to his death last week. Dissatisfied with leader Carrie Lam's public apology, a small number of protesters lingered outside Hong Kong's Legislative Council complex even today. The Hong Kong CEO had apologized to the public yesterday following violent protests against the controversial extradition bill. The number of people taking refuge in other countries reached 70.8 million in 2018, highest in 70 years, the UN said today. The number of people displaced in 2018 is 2.3 million more than the previous year. United Nations Human Rights Office called for an independent inquiry into the death of former Egyptian President Mohamed Morsi. Morsi died after collapsing during a trial hearing in a Cairo court on Monday. Egypt lashed out at the United Nations for allegedly politicizing the death of Mohamed Morsi. In a statement, Foreign Ministry spokesperson Ahmed Hafez condemned the suggestion, insisting it was a case of natural death. Canada has approved a project to expand the Western Canadian crude oil pipeline. It broke last year, providing hope for a depressed energy industry, however, angering environmental groups. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau said that the construction and the expansion of the Trans Mountain pipeline will resume this year. A powerful earthquake of magnitude 6.7 joules northwestern Japan, prompting officials to issue a tsunami warning along the coast. Thousands of families lose electrical power and bullet train services are suspended due to power loss. In the tremors, around 26 people sustained injuries. Police in Southern California are turning to technology in order to fight crime by deploying a robot out on the streets to keep a watchful eye over public area. Equipped with 36-degree video cameras, HP Robocop has been unveiled to monitor areas such as parks and city buildings. International investigators are set to launch criminal proceedings against suspects in the shooting down of Malaysian Airlines flight MH17 over eastern Ukraine nearly 5 years ago. Investigators blame Russian-backed separatists who they say targeted the plane with a Russian-made missile. Germany's federal government has introduced legislation in the cabinet to give hike in pay to nurses and caregivers. The bill aims to increase their pay by introducing changes in the Posting of Workers Act. This law regulates the minimum working conditions for employees. South Korea has provided its largest food and aid donation since 2008 to UN aid programs in North Korea. South Korea's unification minister Kim Yoon-chul said that the country kept its promise to donate $4.5 million to the UN's World Food Programme and announced it was also providing 50,000 tons of rice for delivery to its neighbour. A rocket landed at the headquarters of several global oil companies in Iraq's southern city of Basra, wounding 3 Iraqi workers and raising alarm amid rising tensions between the US and Iran in the region. The Geological Survey of Bangladesh has discovered the country's first iron ore at Isabpur village in Dinajpur following an extensive drilling over 2 months in the area. According to the body, a 400 feet thick iron layer was found 1,750 feet beneath the surface, stretched over an area of 6 to 10 square kilometers. Former UEFA President Michel Platini has been questioned by French anti-corruption investigators over the awarding of the 2022 World Cup to Qatar. Platini, who is 63 years old, was head of European football's governing body until being banned in 2015 for ethics breaches. The International Federation of Association Football is aware of media reports about detention of Michel Platini. However, they have refused to give any additional comments, saying that the body lacks some details regarding the issue. The British government has asked Pakistan to sign a treaty that would allow it to send thousands of Pakistani migrants with expired UK visas back to their home countries, says Pakistani Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi. Union INB Minister Prakash Javadekar says India has entered into an agreement with Bangladesh and South Korea where DD India will be available in both these countries, and South Korean KBS channel and Bangladesh's official channel will be available in India. This mutual cooperation with neighbouring countries is very important, he said. Indian opener Shikhar Dhawan has been ruled out of the ICC World Cup due to thumb injury sustained during the match against Australia. England skipper Ian Morgan, who smashed a world record with 17 sixes in his side's 150-run crushing off Afghanistan in a World Cup game, said he never thought a knock like that could come from his bat. Newly retired Indian cricketer Yuvraj Singh has formally written to BCCI seeking the board's permission to play in T20 leagues around the world, expressing his desire to play overseas leagues for fun. Seeking a ban on the squad, an angered fan has filed a petition in the Gujranwala Civil Court against the Pakistan cricket team. The fan has also demanded sacking of the selection committee following the defeat to arch rivals India. Brazil were held to a draw against Venezuela in Copa America as a late strike from Felipe Coutinho also was disallowed after a controversial video assistant referee decision. Peru came to clinch a 3-1 win over Bolivia and keeping the hopes alive for progressing to the Copa America knockout stage. Brazil women's football legend Marta scored a record 17th World Cup Finals goal to award her team a place in the last 16 with a 1-0 win over Italy. Maria Sharapova made a winning return from her injury by beating Slovakian tennis player Viktoria Kuzmova with a score of 7-6, 6-0 to reach the second round of Mallorca Open. Controller General of Defence Accounts and Chairman of Defence Accounts Sports Control Board Sanjeev Mittal opened the 3-day 7th All India Defence Accounts Department Volleyball Tournament in Hyderabad. The eagerly awaited Indian and National Car Racing Championship 2019 will resume on 21st June in a new avatar following rejig of regulations designed to make racing even more competitive and exciting. The schedule for the ICC Women's Cricket World Cup 2021 has been announced, which will take place in New Zealand from 30th January. On a softer note, Hrithik Roshan penned a heartfelt note for friend Farhan Akhtar as Laksh clocks 15 years of its release. The actor expressed his love for the film and how it tied them together in a strong bond of friendship. Arjun Kapoor is busy preparing for his upcoming film Panipat, and he has shared a post revealing his story of battling with obesity and his vow of never giving up. The actor posted a series of messages on his Twitter handle along with his picture of working out. A proud moment for Indians as Madame Tussauds revealed the figurine of Bollywood star Priyanka Chopra Jonas in London, completing the global superstar's presence at sites across the 4 continents. India, being a country of faith, is clearly seen as devotees in Shivamoga and Karnataka recited verses from the Bhagavad Gita at the Prasanna Ganpati temple as the area is under severe drought and the prayers are offered to curb water scarcity. For the delight of online content viewers, Netflix has ordered 2 more seasons of its Emmy-winning and much-loved series Queer Eye. Actor Shruti Hassan has boarded the cast of USA Network's upcoming series Treadstone, which will be based in the Jason Bourne universe. A film on the life of late singer Jenny Rivera has officially been announced. The revelation was made by Jenny Rivera Enterprises, Nusho Mass Media and Dayline Pictures. To the awe of everyone, Beijing National Stadium stages large-scale sound and light show with large number of people witnessing one-of-a-kind concert as it showcased a plethora of light formations. Bollywood's Amitabh Bachchan look-alike Shashikant Pedwal has propelled to fame by mimicking Bachchan. Pedwal has received many awards and accolades for his unique mimicking talent. With the embarking of a biggest society event of London, the Royal Ascot, William and Kate also joined Queen on first day of event, which is a traditional 5-day horse race event marking the lavish presence of Royal House. Game of Thrones fame Ron Donachi and Mrs. Hughes Phyllis Logan are set to join the cast of Madhavan's upcoming project Rocketry, The Nambi Effect. Madhavan shared a picture thanking both. In a drive to preserve schools, Students' Federation of India and Democratic Youth Federation launched a cycle rally in Puducherry urging the government to preserve and develop Kav College Government Higher Secondary School. Rejoicing the legacy of music, a new book named The Life and Music of Lakshmi Shankar, India's first female Grammy-nominated vocalist, will soon be out by HarperCollins. The book will delve into the life of India's cultural ambassador. Findings from a new study suggest that inadequate consumption of fruits and vegetables may be a major factor in heart disease deaths. Reports say every 20 seconds, one Indian suffers a brain stroke, or 3 in every minute. And the numbers are increasing alarmingly due to changing lifestyles. At this rate, around 1.54 million Indians are affected by strokes every year. And what's worse, 90% of stroke patients fail to reach hospitals on time. According to a recent study, excess weight and body fat cause a range of heart and blood vessel diseases. The study shows that as body mass index or BMI and fat mass increase, so does the risk of aortic valve stenosis, a condition in which the valve controlling the flow of blood from the heart to the body's largest blood vessel, the aorta, narrows and fails to open fully. And a study in France found that people who consumed more processed foods were more prone to develop heart diseases, while a similar study in Spain discovered that eating more processed foods are tied to a higher risk of death in general. That's it that we have for you in this edition of Express News. For all the latest news and updates around the clock, you can follow us on Twitter and YouTube. Thanks for watching. News and updates will continue on DD India.